A warm welcome to Dr. Cornel West.
Augusta, GA! Augusta, GA! Oh, we want to salute all of the precious brothers and sisters of all colors here who come to focus on Bernie Sanders, the next president of the United States. And of course, there's the spirit of Jesse Norman here. Ooh, you all know who Sister Jessie Norman is. She comes straight from Augusta, GA. There's the spirit of James Brown, Godfather of Soul. And that's what we always attempt to do when we focus on Brother Bernie Sanders, because he's not an isolated individual. He's a wave in an ocean. He's part of a movement to try to preserve the democratic ideal in this nation, in this empire. And James Brown taught us to make it funky. We're going to keep it funky. Oh, no, we don't want any deodorized neoliberal discourses that don't come to terms with the rich humanity of poor people and working people and women and gays and lesbians and trans and black and brown. We're talking about humanity across the board. It goes far beyond skin pigmentation. It goes far beyond gender and sexual orientation. We're talking about truth, and the condition of truth is always to allow suffering to speak. And we're talking about justice. And justice is what love looks like in public. So the Bernie Sanders campaign is a love train. It's a justice train. It's a truth train. And if you're concerned about transforming that 1% who own 42% of the wealth to allowing them to be full-fledged citizens but under democratic accountability, come on and get on the train. If you're concerned about the dignity and the decency of every human being, of those Stone Cold everyday people and those James Cleveland called ordinary people, come on and get on the train. You're concerned about women's rights, especially at a moment in which there's such vicious attack on our sisters of all colors. Come on and get on the train. This is a human affair. It's a truth affair. It's a love affair. It's a justice affair. And in the age of Trump, if you talk about truth, justice, love in the broad universal sense, I'm talking about Jews and Arabs and Muslims. I'm talking about Canadians and Americans, Ethiopians and Guatemalans. I'm talking about love across the board. If you talk that way in the age of Trump, you better be ready to cut against the grain. And this campaign cuts against the grain, but we end up picking up the majority of our fellow citizens, especially as they become more awakened in their sleepwalking and recognize what is at stake. The planet's at stake. What is at stake? The democratic experiment's at stake. What is at stake? Fighting greed, fighting hatred, fighting fear. Who has the courage to stand up and make sure you become part of the Bernie Sanders campaign? Are you ready? That's what we're here for. And so I am blessed to introduce to you one of the great visionaries that I have been able to revel in her humanity over the last 5 years. She's someone who works not only closely with Bernie Sanders, she's been a senator in the state of Ohio already. She is a whisper in his ear. She has a heart of gold. Her mind is sharp as a tack. And she's deeply rooted in the history of a people, a black people who have been too often hated for 400 years, but taught the world so much about how to love and what love is. That's who we're talking about. Now, I could just turn on John Coltrane's Love Supreme, or Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, a little Nina Simone, Mississippi Goddamn, and say, keep track of that love and justice. But I present to you and introduce to others the one and lonely, the national co-chair of the campaign of Bernie Sanders, my dear sister, Senator Nina Turner.